Optimove, the leader in positionless marketing, frees marketing teams from the limitations of fixed roles, boosting campaign efficiency by 88%. Its positionless marketing platform delivers 3 transformative powers: data power for real-time customer insights, creative power for instant asset creation, and optimization power for self-optimizing campaigns. With Optimove, you can do anything and be everything. Go to optimove.com/totalretail to get your first month free when buying Optimove's positionless marketing platform.
Welcome to Total Retail Talks, your podcast channel for retail knowledge.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of Total Retail Talks. I'm Joe Keenan, the editor-in-chief of Total Retail. I am here at Shop Talk Fall in Chicago, and I'm pleased to be welcomed on this episode by Liza Lefkowski, who is the chief merchant as well as the vice president of stores at Wayfair. Liza is actually going to be speaking here at the event, and we're going to talk to her a little bit about that session. So thanks for taking the time to join me today, Liza.
Thanks, Joe. I'm pleased to be here.
So one of the things that I want to talk about, and you're going to discuss this in your session here at Shop Talk, Liza, is the strategy at Wayfair around using design, storytelling, and product curation to help your consumers connect emotionally with the products that you're selling and enabling them to make confident purchasing decisions. So tell us a little bit about kind of how that interacts and happens at Wayfair.
So home is an extremely personal, it's a very emotional category to begin with. Your home is your personal space. It's really a reflection of you and how you live. And so our goal at Wayfair is to help our customers create spaces that are really just right for them. And doing that can be a lot of fun. Our customers really enjoy this category, but it's not always easy. And so the first thing we really want to help them do is create that vision. Our customers are very clear about what they like and they don't like. When they see it, they know very quickly if this is something that they like, but they need help getting to that thing that is just right for them. So this notion of design, storytelling, curation, it starts with that inspiration, helping customers figure out what look they're going for, what vibe they're going for in their home, and then making it really easy to get from there to actually transacting and making that look really come to life in their home. So regardless of whether or not you're shopping with Wayfair on our site or in our store, our goal is to first help you figure out what you want to do with your space and then make it a reality as easily as possible.
And I would imagine, to your point, it's kind of an emotional purchase decision, that it's not happening, let's say, the first time they might visit the site or the first time they're coming in store. There's probably, it's not, and it might not be that linear purchase journey. Tell us a little bit about the steps you're taking at Wayfair to reduce that friction in the shopping journey. Like I said, it could be cross-channel and getting them from when they're first discovering the product and browsing to getting them to check out. How are you ensuring that you're, reducing friction in that journey?
Yeah, it's such a great point because it is such a highly considered purchase that customers might come to us many, many times before actually making a decision. And especially now that we are opening physical retail stores, we want that journey to feel very easy. The first thing it starts with is making sure that every interaction that a customer has with us picks up off the last interaction so that your conversation with us, if you will, is continuous. So when you go to the website, that means personalizing that experience, showing you where you left off, providing you some other pathways into things we might think you might like. If you're coming to us in the store, every associate has the ability to see your account, to see your lists that you are creating so that they can help you kind of finish up the inspiration or finish up the room that you were pulling together. So it starts with kind of making sure there's a through line no matter where our customers are engaging with us. And then just making it super easy to kind of complete everything. So whether or not you want to check out on your phone, in the store, on your desktop computer, it does not matter to us. So we're going to show you everything you need to know regardless of what touch point you're at with us.
And on that theme, I guess the challenge, but also the opportunity, and this isn't just specific to Wayfair, is connecting those data points, right? So having that store associate interaction to understand this consumer was on the website, has bought this in the past, or is looking at these products. Tell us a little bit about that connection of data and how it is helping to provide those seamless experiences that you're talking about.
The kind of catching mechanism of all this is your account with Wayfair, and your account travels with you. So if you open your app It opens to your account and you can see all your history. You can see all your past purchases. You can see every picture that you've liked and added to a list. Maybe you have a list for every room in your house. So that is your kind of home-based or organizing mechanism. And if you come to a store, it follows you there. You can walk in the store, sign on to the Wi-Fi, and all of a sudden your account is there in your app, and the app knows you're in the store, so it can help you navigate based on what we know about you. And if you want an associate to help you, they can be there right with you, pull up your account, and have all the information that you do. By the way, if you don't need help, because a lot of people love kind of navigating on their own, that's fine too. So it can be as self-service or as assisted as you like, but it really boils down to that account that is capturing all the interactions that you have to help you along the journey.
So I want to talk about Wayfair. Obviously originated as a digital first, digital native brand, has since expanded into physical retail, and part of the work that you and your team are doing. As you think about your physical spaces, how are you designing those stores to feel complementary to that online experience? And what you were talking about earlier can be an emotional, you're invested in the items that you're buying for your home. So how does the store environment fit into that?
When we started building stores, we were adamant that the stores had to be a physical representation of the brand. And so what that actually means is incredible selection. So selection is a kind of bedrock of our brand. It is the enabler for our customers to create those spaces that are just right for them. And selection in a physical environment means incredible breadth and depth across all of the categories that we sell. So you'll see everything from furniture to home improvement to storage and organization, housewares, large appliances, all the things, outdoor, Christmas trees, whatever you need. So that implies a fairly large space. It's a large store. It's 150,000 square feet. But we don't want the store to feel overwhelming. So it should feel very approachable and very accessible. And we do that a few ways. One is the store associates who we've talked to. They will guide you through it. They can pull up your account, know everything about you, and walk you through it. The second is, as we've merchandised the store and decided what products go in the store, a reminder, we have over 10 million products on our site. We have far, far fewer than that in the store. So as we've decided what products go in the store, we've been very thoughtful about kind of having something for everyone, but not creating unintentional choice. I don't want to have two sofas that look kind of the same because I don't want to put the customer in a position to have to know which one they should pick. And so we've been very thoughtful. Every item has a purpose. So the goal is that you can find something that resonates with you, your style, your price point, in the store without having to do too much exploration on the site. That said, if you want something that we don't have in the store, we will absolutely help you find it on the site. So making it feel very accessible, but also kind of joyous and fun and optimistic. There's lots of color, lots of natural light. The associates have great energy. So all of this is meant to really bring the brand to life in a way that is consistent with, but very additive to our .com experiences.
Yeah, you want it to be curated without feeling overwhelming to the shopper,
exactly.
right? You don't want them to come in and be like, oh, this is too much, and
Exactly.
walking out the door. So as we sit here and record the episode in Chicago, I know you were at your new Wayfair location here in Chicago yesterday, but I know the long-term vision, I believe, is to continue to grow that footprint, that brick and mortar footprint. Tell us a little bit about the strategy behind that, where Wayfair could be, targeting, and where you're heading next, I guess.
We are a national brand, and our customers are all over the country. And so our goal is to be able to service our customers with a physical store in time. So our ambition is to have incredible reach with physical stores. We have the one in Chicago. We've announced 3 additional leases: Denver, Yonkers, New York, and Atlanta. And we're being very thoughtful with each new lease we sign. We're still very much in learning mode. We know our stores must represent our brand, but there's a lot of decisions around that we're still learning into. And so with each new store, we're learning a little bit, but you can imagine over time, our pace of expansion will accelerate. I've been at Wayfair for about 10 years, and physical retail has always been part of the conversation. What's interesting is that the stores themselves are kind of the final mile of that journey. We have an incredible logistics network. We can get items to customers within a day. We have relationships with tens of thousands of suppliers. So it's really about building the actual stores to bring physical retail to life. And we're at this incredibly exciting and fun moment where we're experimenting with the stores and talking to customers and seeing what resonates.
You talk about the learnings you're gathering from the stores that are currently opening. One thing, and you touched on this a little bit, Liza, is I'm interested to get your perspective on the design of those stores that are open in terms of what is driving engagement, what's driving people to potentially convert in store, and obviously the digital piece of that is complementary. Is to what we talked about earlier. They might have looked at that sofa online, but they want to come in and they want to sit in it, they want to feel it, and so you get that physical, tactile experience in the stores.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about the design philosophy and what you're learning.
What's fascinating to me and a little bit unexpected is that more than 50% of the customers coming into our store are new to Wayfair, new to our customer file. I didn't necessarily expect that, but I think what that says to me, and it sounds fairly obvious in retrospect, is customers still love stores. Stores still play an incredibly important role. As you said, they're very tactile. You can experience the product before you actually buy it. And in a category like this, where it's so highly considered, it's often a purchase that feels almost pseudo-permanent, like these items last a long time. People want to experience them before they buy them. So the store is absolutely playing an additive role. As we thought about the design of the store, we knew that people would be returning multiple times on to think about a given purchase, and they might need time while in the store. So it was important to us that the store was a welcoming, comfortable, enjoyable environment. So when you walk into the store, it feels spacious but warm. There's lots of natural light. There are kind of hints or signals of home, meaning there's wood tones throughout. There's details throughout that feel more like residential spaces than a store space. We've tried to make it as interactive as possible in terms of being able to sit on, touch, feel, shake, test the product. We have a shower experience, for example, where you can see running water coming out of the shower heads because it's important. You want to get a sense for how that shower is going to feel if you're gonna buy it. It was most important to us that the store felt warm, approachable, a place you're comfortable hanging out for a little while. We have food and beverage. We have a cafe called The Porch, which has, I'm a little biased, but I think the food and the coffee is quite good. So it's a space you could go with your family and spend an afternoon if you need to.
As you expand across the country, you mentioned Wayfair being a national brand. Does that get kind of personalized to the market, right? Yeah. So the design in Yonkers, New York, where you're going to, just outside of Manhattan, may feel a little different than maybe your store in Atlanta, per se.
Very good question, and we're early in our journey on this, but it's always been very important to us to embrace the local community. So there are ways we've merchandised the store and ways we've designed the store that hint towards that. So for example, if you go to our store in Wilmette, Illinois, you'll see a mural on the outside. That's an important design element for us because it's a local artist that we're featuring, and it kind of is a nod to the community that we want to welcome you and be a part of this. As we think about the actual products in our store, there are some kind of obvious differences in that, outdoor products might occupy more space in Atlanta year-round than they do in Yonkers, New York. But we've also, before opening the store, we go into these communities and we shop around and we meet folks and we try to understand what is unique about their needs. So, for example, in Atlanta, the aesthetic tends to lean a little bit more traditional. Bedding, for example, they tend to enjoy quilts more than maybe we do in the Northeast, where we need heavier bedding. But so there's things we're learning about each that will tweak our assortment slightly, though there's still a very large core that will be consistent amongst the stores.
So finally, when I have leaders such as yourself on the podcast, I'd love to kind of get some takeaways or advice for the audience that is listening in. As you think about designing experiences, and particularly the in-store, because we've spoken a lot about that convert shoppers without losing sight of that brand storytelling, that brand mission, the connection that you have, what advice would you have for the audience there?
This is going to sound pretty basic, but listen to your customers. They're very clear about what they like, dislike, what they're responding well to or not. And so I spend a lot of time in our store just interacting with customers, looking at how they experience the store. Something that, again, seems obvious in retrospect, it was very clear when we opened the store that folks wanted more cash and carry product. They wanted to take it home that day. Even though we could deliver it the next day, they wanted it right then and there. So it's like, this is a big priority for us. We're going to make as much cash and carry as possible, even things that you might think are too big, for example. But also there's surprise and delight experiences that customers might not tell you or couldn't tell you that they want, but if you watch them interact with them, you can see how they spark joy or what have you. And so I think it's this notion of balance of how can I provide what I know that they want, but also experiment with things that might delight them or surprise them. And so that's the kind of fun part of it. That's the art of it, but it's really about finding balance in those two things.
Yeah, it's blending that art and that data, right? That science. And also, to your point, maybe presenting them with products that they didn't know they wanted or needed until they stepped foot in your store.
Yes. In what you might notice when you walk into a Wayfair store is how much color is there, for example. I think the data would tell you that most people gravitate towards neutrals, grays, beiges, blues. But I love to see customers walk in and see all the color, see the print in the pattern. They might not buy it, but I think it brings a joy to the experience. So yeah, absolutely. Showing customers things that they didn't even know that they wanted is part of the fun of going to a store.
Well, I want to take the opportunity to thank Liza Lefkowski, who again is the Chief Merchant and Vice President of Stores at Wayfair, for joining us here at Shop Talk, as well as us on this episode of Total Retail Talks. Thank you, Liza.
Thanks, Joe. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for listening. For more information on this podcast, please check out our podcast channel page at mytotalretail.com/podcasts for show notes. Total Retail Talks is available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and Spotify. Make sure to subscribe on our podcast channel page as well. If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a few moments to rate and review this podcast. Thanks, and until next time, this has been Total Retail Talks.
Optimove, the leader in positionless marketing, empowers marketers to instantly deliver real-time personalization. Boosting campaign efficiency by 88%, it allows marketers to do anything and be everything. Go to optimove.com/total retail to get your first month free when buying Optimove's positionless marketing platform.